Who want to be loved? Okay, it's wake-up call. You can say, I want to be loved. Who want to be loved? Yeah, we all want to be loved, right? And guess what? So did O'Neill de Guzman. He knew that. Anybody know who he is? Okay, all right. So when we talk about trust and net of the age of IT and the internet, I guess he's one of the guys who kind of let our trust slip a bit by sending out this love letter virus that costed the world billions and billions of dollars to clean up. And the most interesting thing is actually when I did a bit of research on this, you know, he was never charged. He's not in jail. He's working in Germany in a tech company, as far as I could figure out. And the reason was that at that time, there was no regulations around what he did. He did not do anything wrong as per the law. But I guess we are different now, and we have some rules and regulations governing some parts of this. How many people have seen this on their computer a few weeks ago, a month ago? Anybody? Okay, this is the time to keep your hands down. But talking about Bitcoins, maybe this is one of the reasons why a lot of the established community still is skeptical about Bitcoin, because the way that these guys got paid was by sending $300 worth of Bitcoins out in the blue where nobody can track it, where nobody can see it, where nobody knows where it is, where there's no taxes, no regulations, or no other kind of compliances. So we keep on seeing this WannaCry affected, you know, millions and millions of dollars have been transferred and hundreds of thousands of computers have been affected. A few weeks later, I don't know if any of you have been traveling to the UK and saw these boats when the complete British Airways was down because of IT problems. They did not say they were hacked. They did not say that they had WannaCry virus or even an old love letter virus that bloomed up. But something was wrong in the IT system. And obviously, this is happening now because we are more and more relying on IT for our everyday need. How many people remember this company, Yellow Pages? Okay. We have a little bit older, a more mature audience in this room than we had a few days ago. So good to see Yellow Pages. I still see a building when I go from Alabang to Makati with some Yellow Pages logo. I don't know what they're doing, but they are probably still selling Yellow Pages. Does anybody know what is search engine optimization? Search engine optimization, SEO? Anybody have any SEO people working for them? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, you have? What's the SEO for Yellow Pages? Your company has to start with A. Okay, if your company starts with A, then you are first in the Yellow Pages in that area. So if you are providing recruitment services for IT people, you will be called good IT recruitment company. And then you will have lots of calls. Of course, today is a bit different. People find their services in different. Here's Gavin. It's a regional company that provides services via their portal. So Gavin is a website. Probably a lot of you have seen their AdWords. They're heavily backed and advertising a lot. I don't know how successful they are, but the concept is you can find the services you need, and you can find a good couple of plumbers in your area. Search engine optimization. Well, yellow cab is certainly more visible in the landscape. So when you look for a cab and you can see a yellow car, you could certainly find it. Unfortunately, most of these companies are now going out of business. More and more are using Grab. I have like many people in the Philippines, I have a couple of cars to avoid this number coding scheme, and I have a driver. And yesterday, my wife, she went with Grab to the mall, and we have a car, and she said it's difficult to find a parking there. So, it's just changing how we do things and how we think. If you look at Blockbuster, on a good Saturday afternoon, what are we going to do? It's a rainy season, let's rent a movie. Today it's a matter of, are we going to subscribe to iFlix or Netflix? So it's not so much the motion of going out and deciding. Now we can sit home and decide. And there's some AI behind this that helps us what is best for our mood that afternoon. Of course, at the end of the month, a payday every 2 weeks. We used to go and buy our CDs and DVDs and vinyl and whatever. And today we get the music we want on Spotify. According to a recent article, Spotify is now worth more than the entire music industry. So if you take all the values of all the labels and put them together, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and so forth, Spotify has more value in that. Airbnb, it's taking inroads. It certainly put a few hotels out of business. I don't know if this was a hotel that they put out of business, but it doesn't look nice. I'm from Denmark, and we are going to Denmark and Sweden this summer for our vacation. And recently, Airbnb, they announced that the entire country of Sweden is on Airbnb. So they used to have the right of all men in Sweden to put up your tent anywhere you want. But now apparently you have to book that via Airbnb. That's a good deal, huh? For Airbnb. How many people know the country of Sweden? Have anybody been to Sweden? Yeah? Björn? Okay. Sweden is 10 million people and 400,000 kilometers of square kilometers of area. 400,000. Philippines is 100 million people and 300,000 square kilometers. So Sweden is much, much bigger than Philippines, but still with only a fraction of the people. These companies were the hot, cookies of the VoIP, especially the call centers were depending on these guys just a few years ago. Today they're all out of business or have been acquired or have been merged. They are not there anymore. We are using products like Skype for Business or other product that works in our standard platforms. If you want to have your dog walked, your parrot fed, or your iguana, petted, there's an app for that. So the business models that we use for our everyday things are changing. So it's not any longer the standard business models that we have seen in the past. I think we have seen some disruptive companies today, but disruption is happening through technology. Here's 3 little babies. I think they are Danish babies, but none of them are mine. Except I have actually a granddaughter that kind of looked like the one in the middle. The thing is that we are moving from capital expenditure to operational expenditure. So what does it have to do with babies? Software as a service, you don't buy, you rent. Anything as a service? Well, in Denmark, if you are a mom and you have a baby, or your parents and you have a baby, you can subscribe to baby clothes. And when the baby outgrows the clothes that is in this blue bag, you simply send the bag back to Vega, and they send you a new set of clothes. So Denmark is only 5 million people, so maybe there's a certain limit to how big their business can grow, but certainly it can accumulate a few $1 million of business. How can you grow this business? What does every child have? Every child has a dad, that's correct. Every child has a dad, and what happens to the dad while under the pregnancy? Nothing, right? Okay, every child also has a mommy, yes, and what happens to the mommy during pregnancy? She grows, right? And she also wants to feel good and change her clothes, and she cannot wear, sweatshirts and shorts all the time. So now the next model is to start to offer not paternity clothes, but maternity clothes. Again, you get the latest fashion, updated as you grow, and you can change it and you can send it back. These kind of changes have brought well-known companies to the knees. In fact, of Fortune 500 companies, since 2000, 52% of them are out of business, bankrupt, have ceased to exist. They are just not there anymore. If you look at the logos of the 2000 version of Fortune 500, 52% of them you cannot find anymore. Okay, 1975. Who remember 1975? Yeah? Okay. This was this group down here. They're actually my school teachers. The other guys I don't know. But what happened in 1975? I turned 12, and you can start to do the math, but you could also just leave it to the end. Like any other young boy in that age, I want to have a camera. I want to take pictures. Maybe I also want to go on skiing vacation with these kind of people, but mostly I just wanted to take pictures. And a few years later, when I turned 18, the camera got bigger. I wanted another camera. I wanted a more advanced camera, a better camera. And in fact, 16 years later, when I turned 34, it was still a camera. It might have changed the shape. It might have changed, the lenses or things. But it was cameras. And we took pictures of our families. This is not my family, no. Okay, this is not my family. This is not my wedding, and this is still not my grandchild. But this is what we did. We took pictures of everything that made a difference for us in our lives. In fact, if you go through the history of modern photography from the 1930s, when George Eastman popularized the camera, it kind of grew and 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 grew to the late 90s. What happened then? Okay, technology changed. What happened was we got digital cameras. So with digital cameras, the whole industry that was built on film kind of got turned upside down. Was it disrupted? Did digital disrupt the industry, the film industry? You could argue that. Probably not. See, the business continued to grow. Maybe Kodak was not happy. Who knows the term Kodak me? It was used here in the Philippines before, for taking a picture like Xerox. Kodak me is a term for taking a picture. But Kodak me existed and continued. Nikon, Canon, these guys just sold more and more cameras. Then in 2003, Samsung, they decided to put a camera inside a phone. And then the industry changed. Okay, from 120 million cameras to 2.1 billion smartphones with cameras. So that's disruption. It was not technology that disrupted. It was the whole shift in how you use your cameras and how you bring it along. I read the last week that there's now 1.3 trillion pictures will be taken in 2017 versus around I think it was 80 billion or 70 billion just 10 years ago. So the market has exploded. In fact, if you go to Flickr, Flickr is like a professional photo sharing site where people who are interested in photography, they share their pictures. Out of the top 5 brands, 3 of them are phones, and out of the contributing cameras, all top 5 are phones. They're all, Apple, Apple, Samsung, Apple, Apple. Completely changed the upside to change the business upside down. So as we look back on today and the presentation we have seen, what's happening right now is an industrial revolution. Businesses are changing, business models are changing. Oops, I blanked out the slide, okay, cool. So what will happen to your industry? What will happen to the financial services? What will happen in different areas? What is the changes and how will it change the way we live and the way we work? It's a mobile first, cloud first. We heard Dustin talking about everything is on the cloud. He doesn't have a server. He has one IT manager. In fact, I could have been saying the same thing in our company. We have 500 employees. We have one full-time IT person. And we have no single server in our company. What has happened and what will happen is that more people will have mobile phones, and we are talking about smartphones here, than anything else, than electricity, than water, than internet connection. Everybody will have a smartphone in their pocket. And that's what will change the way that we work and enable the transactions, the fintech, the Bitcoin, the smart apps. All of these things will change with the advent of the mobile phone. These are the kind of things we do, right? We buy, we listen, we diagnose, we learn. Everything you can do online with a phone and with a smart app. In fact, these years, 50 million appliance robots are being sold. Anybody knows what's appliance robot? Appliance robot? No, it's not this one. No. This is the one. The cute little grass cutter that moves around in your garden and cut your grass while you're at work. Or the one that vacuum cleans your floor. I don't know if it's going to order also a drink while it's doing that using the Bitcoin technology, but it's a possibility. I hope that the dog is already out so it doesn't get run over. But these are the kind of things that change. Autonomous vehicles, we talked about it earlier. My son, he loves our car. It's a Toyota FJ Cruiser that we bought 10 years ago in Dubai, and he said, Dad, I hope that we will still have cars to drive when I turn 18. He's 9 years old. But it's reality. The reality is that everything around driving is going to change. I had a chat with Jeb the other day, and things like the pleasure of driving. You will be the odd one in the traffic when you try to move around in your vintage, FJ Cruiser in 10 years, because you will have all these autonomous vehicles around you following the rules. No more texting and driving, no more selfies while driving, no more chit-chatting while driving or picking your nose or whatever people are doing. Trucks, self-driving trucks, I think is even closer than self-driving vehicles. HoloLens from Microsoft is enabling learning in a different way. You can actually have this mixed reality where you can see the real world around you and you can see the superimposed world. It will change how we do our learning, how we do our engineering, how we do our architecture, construction. Put this thing here, take this thing down from there. It's all based on a mixed reality. What about 3D printing? I don't know if any of you have bought a 3D printer yourself to kind of test it out, and probably wondering, where is this exactly going? I will tell you where it's going. Last week, you went to Singapore, you bought these shelves from IKEA, you came home, and you put them up, and one small plastic thing is missing. Now you go online, you locate the part, you download the driver, boom, you have your plastic part. What about this one? We are very close to manufacturing 3D printed spare parts for ourselves. The Internet of Things, we heard it earlier, connecting everything everywhere. I don't know if any of you have recently been stopped by a cop here in Makati. No? No? I haven't been stopped, but my driver was stopped, so I kind of, okay, it looks something like this actually, with a camera on the chest. So the internet-connected IoT law enforcement officer is a reality. And so is the interconnected cow. Our livestock is connected to optimize our farming. What are the things that will change for decision makers? What are the things that will change for business people, entrepreneurs, for the small business owner? So if you ask 45% of respondents to a World Economic Forum survey, they believe that bots will be on boards within the next few years. So a bot is artificial intelligence. It could be, in my view, I want to replace a CFO. I want to know everything. I want to predict everything. I want to ask those questions. The bot will be able to do it. No more looking into reports. Give me half an hour. I'll study that in our ERP solution. The answers will come. We have actually ourselves demonstrated this as a CXO forum in Sri Lanka a couple of months back. It's reality. So every industry is digital. Every company is digital. Everything is connected. Employees, customers, everybody. If you have anybody recognize what is this? So this is one of these micro SMBs, right? This is a rice stall selling rice. How do you know what's the right price for rice today? How can you know that this type of rice should be 45 pesos per kilo? Magnolia rice? Healthy organic rice, 55. How do you know that? How can you be updated? And how can you sell your goods? I'm a musician myself. I play ukulele. Here's my ukulele company I work with there in Cebu. This is their workshop. This is the advertising. These are the people behind it. I have never, ever seen them. I have never met them. I have bought several instruments from them, but because they are digital, because they are on the net, you can do business with them. So this is the kind of things that will be very big for SMEs, SMBs, and the micro SMBs as well. So it will change the way we work. How many of you are checking emails today? Will be checking Yammer, Teams, Microsoft, Facebook, different kind of ways of communicating. It will not be, email with CC and BCC and all these email trails. It will be collaboration. Different kind of ways of working. An earlier speaker said, I can work from anywhere. I can have my company set up anywhere because all we need is an internet connection. So all these apps, Enerdoc, document management, Citrix, Dropbox, and all these beautiful Microsoft Office 365 icons enable you to work anywhere. In fact, company WeWork, which is a shared workplace, has a multi-billion-dollar valuation after just being existing for a few years. People don't want to go to an office. In fact, I forgot which company, but one quite big new IT company has closed down their San Francisco office because people don't show up to work. They want to work from home. So why should I pay, $500, $600 per seat if people rather sit at home? I'd rather give them allowance and let them work from home. So that's becoming the trend. So with that, actually the digital transformation is a mobile-first, cloud-first revolution. This is what you're seeing right now. It's not the steam engine, it's not electricity, it's not the phone, but it's a transformation that is happening through a mobile-first, cloud-first technology. So with this, we are back to the start. We love you so very much. Thank you very much.